We start, though, with breaking news at the Supreme Court. It just handed President Trump another win, allowing his administration to fire hundreds of probationary federal workers. I want to get straight to Paula Reed, who was looking through the decision. Paula, what did they say?
So, Dana, this is a significant win for the administration. The fourth one they have notched from the Supreme Court in just the past few days. Here, this decision is focused on thousands of fired probationary federal workers. Now, this decision will allow the government to keep those individuals off the payroll, while the larger questions about these firings are litigated. Now, this was decided not on a constitutional issue or really on the merits. It was decided on something called standing, which is whether the individuals who brought this lawsuit had the right to do so. And here the court says that the 9 nonprofit organizations did not have standing in this case. So again, this is sort of a technical win, but it is still a win for the administration.
It is still a win. It is still a win. I love those two words, another win. Are those not two beautiful words? Another win for the Trump administration. We are rocking with the Supreme Court of late, gang. The latest ruling just released literally just minutes ago today has blocked a rogue judge's order requiring Trump to rehire probationary employees at 6 federal agencies. It was a 7-2 ruling with Kagan joining the 6 mostly conservatives. Isn't that wonderful? Now some of their side is coming on over to ours for a change. Let's hope that's the beginning of the new court in this new American golden age. As I understand it, these were over totaling. It affects around 16,000 employees, which remember, Trump did not have to technically rehire. Again, we talked about this early on our video this morning. The Democrats keep picking fights they can't win. Even if Trump were ordered to reinstate those 16,000 positions, he does not have to reinstate the same people to those positions. Most of them probably got other jobs during this entire appellate process as it was playing out month after month. It's the positions that are ordered reinstated. And the irony here is that Project 2025, the infamous Project 2025, calls for mass firings of federal bureaucrats on the one hand, and then on the other, replacing them by hiring MAGA loyalists, which is exactly Trump's backup plan, were the Supreme Court to rule against him. Now, he's clearly going with the DOGE plan. This came later on. The first was Project 2025. Fire as many as you can, and then the ones you can't fire, you replace them with MAGA loyalists. And then came Elon Musk and DOGE, which his idea was basically let's eradicate as much of the administrative state as we can, something going way beyond Project 2025. This, they believe, was the key to dismantling once and for all the administrative state. Again, as opposed to the Project 2025 replacement strategy. In other words, I was thinking about this today. Trump is eliminating rather than exchanging. He's eliminating positions altogether rather than exchanging leftist federal employees with MAGA loyalists. He is doing that, but he's focusing primarily on the elimination rather than exchange. But the point is here, either way, Trump wins. This is the futile, I don't know, what do you want to call it, voyage that the Democrats are trying to walk up a descending escalator. No matter how the courts decide in these issues, Trump wins, at least when it comes to the bureaucratic positions, at least when it comes to him hiring and firing in the executive domain. But that said, the Supreme Court ruled in Trump's favor today again. Now, they threw out the case, as you heard, on the issue of standing. It's a procedural issue. But again, what's so key here is that the executive branch does have exclusive jurisdiction that excludes those left-wing nonprofits filing the lawsuit on behalf of the workers. That's why they don't have standing. So to me, this is far more than just a procedural ruling rather than a merits ruling. The procedural exclusivity that the Supreme Court is acknowledging reveals the merits. The executive branch has exclusive plenary authority over executive departments under the president's control. He can hire and fire as he sees fit. And if you are not directly part of that executive domain, you have no standing. That is a foreshadowing of how they're ultimately going to rule, I believe, on all of these rogue judge cases. This is why all of these activist judges, in the end, are going to get crushed. Case in point, the latest win, of course, coming on the heels of the huge ruling, the 5-4 ruling. It should have been 6-3, but we reported on this morning. The Supreme Court has overturned Obama-appointed Judge James Boasberg. He's been the worst of them all. He's the one that ruled that the Trump administration could not use what's called the Alien Enemies Act to deport violent Venezuelan gang members who are here illegally. I mean, let that hit you. You've got people here illegally, and they have no constitutional rights. Constitutional rights are for citizens or for those who are here illegally. They're here illegally. They are criminals by very definition of their presence here. And then on top of that, they've committed acts of violence in the nation. On top of that, they do it as part of a gang. So here they are. They're in our nation illegally. They're engaged in all these acts of violence as part of a gang. And Trump says, here you go. Here's a plane, and it's sending your asses back to Venezuela or El Salvador, the mega prison of Nayib Bukele. You're gone. And we actually have a judge who is so infested with ideological absurdity that he ordered the two original planes that were deporting these criminals, I believe 200 to 300 at the time. He ordered them to stop mid-flight, well, not stop, but turn around mid-flight and return. And of course, the Trump administration said, what? Huh? Can't hear you. What? Huh? Diesel engine's really loud. Huh? And they did it again. Of course, the Trump administration repeated the deporting, using the Aliens Act to deport more and more, hundreds more of these Venezuelan gang members. And this judge was absolutely livid, and he was threatening them with holding them of contempt of court. Well, the Supreme Court has now officially sided with the Trump administration, removing the restraining order that the Trump administration was ignoring to begin with, and allowing President Trump to continue to deport violent, illegal gang members under the Alien Enemies Law. Could your health issues be caused by an invisible enemy? Fatigue, bloating, brain fog? What if parasites are the real culprit? I kid you not, I was digging into parasite cleanses when I came across this video from this doctor.
What are the main differences between ivermectin and fenbendazole? These are two anti-pathogens used to treat parasitic infections and other similar types of conditions. They are used quite often in the oncology world to treat cancer. They both have as anti-pathogenic abilities.
Interesting, right? I mean, did you know 60 million Americans apparently have parasites? Oh, it's freaky. They're everywhere. They're in our food, their water, our pets. They secretly invade our body, wreaking havoc on our gut, our energy levels, even our brain. And the mainstream medical system, they don't want you to think about this, because one great cleanse can change your life. The Wellness Company has a solution for you. Ivermectin plus mebendazole, FDA-approved parasite solutions, now combined in one cleanse combo. Just fill out a brief medical intake form to get your 3-month supply. Lots of parasite cleanses are all over the social media, but not the gold standard level. Maha is officially here, and the Wellness Company is making these hard-to-get medications digitally accessible so you can live your best life. But don't wait. Head on over to twc.health/Turley and use code Turley to save $90 off plus free shipping. That's twc.health/Turley. Click on that link below right now. Now, what is so key to get with that Alien Act ruling? What is so key here? This is going to pump you up. You ready? You ready? All right. I'm reading a lot of commentary on this, legal commentary. But what's so key is, as of that Supreme Court ruling telling Boasberg to basically shove it, Now Trump officially owns the border. The last obstacle, as it were, has been that by the way, again, he was ignoring, but the last formal obstacle has been removed. This was it. This was the final nail in the coffin for Democrats for the next 4 years, who've been desperately trying to find something, anything that could possibly stop the mass deportations of what they were hoping to be their new 2030 voting constituency to offset the massive electoral gains made by red states in the upcoming reapportionment, right? The Electoral College reapportionment has, I believe it's 12 more electoral votes in red states, while at the same time, blue states are losing, I believe, around 10, something akin to that. So as we speak, nothing, zero, nada, not a single case against Trump and the southern border has been upheld. Not one. They've all gone down in flames, either at the appellate level or at the level, most recently, of the Supreme Court. Trump now has total, unimpeded ability to deport criminal aliens to foreign jails with the barest of process, meaning it's the swiftest possible means of deporting anyone. And again, I love how Latinx put it, one of my favorite X accounts. He's arguing, we're going to be living in a very different country in 4 years. I mean, there's just no way around. It's baked into the cake now. Demographics is both for those who show up, but it's also for those who have been deported. Right? I mean, there's just no way you can take that to the bank. There is now officially nothing that the Democrats can do to stop Trump's 24/7 deportation program as of this Supreme Court decision. And by the way, it's been the same story for federal workers so far as well. So this latest ruling that we just got from the Supreme Court allowing the Trump administration to basically fire whoever he wants is yet the latest defeat for Democrat efforts at trying to save these hundreds of thousands of bureaucratic positions. They literally, you've got to get this, they have yet to win a single case. Yes, I know they'll get a decision in their favor after judge shopping, right? Which again, the Supreme Court, by the way, just ruled they cannot do. They're going to shoot down every single one of these cases that they suspect started with judge shopping, where Democrat activists look for Democrat-appointed judges in deep blue districts so get the predetermined result that they want. The Supremes, particularly Judge Roberts, they despise that, to their credit. They see that a total politicalization of the courts. If there's anything Roberts is absolutely freaked out over, so he wants to protect the courts from precisely that, from this partisanization. But thus far, though they've gotten a decision from a lower court here or there in their favor, all of these federal workers have done nothing but lose the appellate process. Again, this is why I keep telling you out there, stop dooming over these rogue activist judges. Stop despairing. They are going to get overturned. Don't fall prey to the legacy media's attempt to galvanize the very deflated Democrat base right now, while at the same time trying to demoralize MAGA by reporting these judicial rulings as these great, glorious victories for the left, from these unelected lower court federal judges. They're not. They're not. The left has yet to win anything in court since Trump's term began, right? And that's just not even 3 months ago yet. The left has not won a single case. Every case thus far that they've brought before the courts is either on appeal or it has lost. It's gone down in flames. So pay no attention to these rogue judges. They're just the beginning of an entire process that every single one at this point has gone down in flames for the Democrats. One estimate right now, you'll love this. One estimate is that we're at about 500,000 federal workers gone since January 20th. 500,000. Again, we've just never seen anything like this. The latest, the one that we cite very often is Bill Clinton back after the Republican Revolution, when he tried to reinvent himself as a major centrist, and I believe they got rid of 300,000. That was like total in his the latter half of his first term and his second term. We're talking 500,000 in freaking 2.5 months. 500. Now, keep in mind that those who accepted the DRP, the deferred resignation program, and I believe they've had 2 rounds of that thus far, or there's a second round that's coming. But those who took the offer for early retirement, as it were, right, they're not counted in those figures because they are technically employed as part of the severance package until, I believe, September. But they're gone. They're not going to work. They're gone. But as part of the severance, they're still getting payment all the way to September. So they are not counted. If you count them, you're looking at upwards of about 500,000 federal jobs, 500,000 eliminated, and we're not even in 3 full months. I mean, think about it. Can you imagine what Northern Virginia is going to look like in 2028 if this keeps going? And keep in mind, too, to the extent that whatever federal workers they keep on more or less have to be MAGA loyalists. I mean, Virginia could be, well, it looks like Virginia will at the very least be a swing state, if not possibly returning to the solid red category. We will have to see. And if that doesn't excite you, take a look at this. This is final here. You'll love this. This is the question that's trending on Reddit, which clearly leans left if you know Reddit. Reddit's pretty pathetically left, actually, and it's politics. I'm on Reddit. People ask questions about me, and some of the answers are quite funny. But here is what is trending on Reddit today. And it's a question. It starts with a question, and you get a bunch of answers if you don't know Reddit. Why isn't anyone stopping them? Well, this is one of the most answered questions on Reddit today. Why isn't anyone is stopping them? And then here's the subheading. Hundreds of thousands of federal employees are getting slaughtered at the hands of inexperienced 20 to 25-year-olds. So this is an explanation of the question. And I got to stop there. Hundreds of thousands of employees, that's true, are getting slaughtered, well, metaphorically, at the hands of inexperienced 20 to 25-year-olds. That's just a blatant lie. The average age for a Doge employee is 47. 40 freaking 7. Not 20, not 25, not 30. 47. Remember the old saying, if you want to make a conservative angry, lie to him. If you want to make a liberal angry, tell him the truth. Liberals intentionally live in a fabricated world precisely because they cannot handle reality. It's called wokeness. But going on, quote, the fact that this country is letting this charade go on right now is abysmal. I'm disgusted as I wait to see if my family is going to lose health insurance and our income based on arbitrary decisions. Again, stop. Look, I don't want anyone to lose their job and lose their health care, objectively speaking, but these decisions are not arbitrary. Musk has said it over and over again. If you are an excellent, conscientious employee, federal employee, you're not going to be fired. At the very least, they'll just find another position for you. They want the best working for a new MAGA-based DC. So obviously, this person's whining is indicative that they will not make the cut. This is what's trending on Reddit here, this helpless, bewildering, bemoaning cry for why on earth won't anyone stop them? And we can answer that. I mean, I can answer that. We can all answer. If you're a regular to this channel, if not, make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. We can all answer that. The answer is very simple. You've been voted out of power. That's the answer. We obviously know who you voted for right there. Well, you literally have no power. Or politics, as I say every week, over and over again, politics is ultimately about power. It's not about ideology. It's not about right or wrong. It's not about philosophy. Without political power, you cannot institute your ideology. You cannot institute the right or the wrong, the philosophy. Politics is the means of power. It's the means by which you are able to enact your vision for a good society. And if you've got it, if you've got the power, then you can enact your values, interests, and concerns that you believe is best for the country. If you don't have it, well, then you go to Reddit, and you write out these hysterical rants that only prove how irrelevant and ineffectual you've truly become. Hey there, Turley Talker. You know what? I'd love to hear from you. That's why I'm launching the Dr. Steve Hotline, where you can call in, leave a question, and maybe even hear your own voice featured on an upcoming episode of the show. Whether it's about the latest political shakeup or cultural trends or how we keep pushing forward in this new conservative age, I want to know what's on your mind. Call me at 717-844-5984. Just leave your question. I'll be checking in every single week to answer as many as I can. Again, that's 717-844-5984. Your chance to be a part of the conversation. One more time, 717-844-5984. Give me a call and let's talk.